Good Wednesday evening, September 17th, and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. I'm Grant Olson. Here are a few of the stories we have coming up for you tonight. A semi-truck hauling apples overturned yesterday on Highway 17 in northern Douglas County. Managers on the Lower Sugarloaf Fire changed evacuation levels yesterday, placing new areas under Level 2 notices. North Central Washington weather looks beautiful with sunshine and temperatures in the mid-80s through Saturday. Your full local weather forecast is coming up. A suspected robber who allegedly made 2 visits to local banks was apprehended Tuesday and turned out to have a lengthy prior history of bank robbery. 42-year-old Cameron Len Gaunt of Manson became known as the Ball Cap Bandit during his spree of robberies in 2010 when he struck banks in Wenatchee, Omak, and Moses Lake, making off with about $13,000 without ever using a weapon. Gaunt was sentenced to 8 years in federal prison, but in 2019, after his release, he robbed more banks in King County and was imprisoned again until this past July. East Wenatchee police say last week, Gaunt was suspected of attempting to rob a bank in their jurisdiction and fled before officers arrived. On Tuesday, he allegedly entered the People's Bank on Valley Mall Parkway and was apprehended after employees there recognized him from photos distributed by police. Gaunt is now held in the Chelan County Jail on a federal detention warrant, as well as pending local charges. The Northwest Athletic Conference found the Wenatchee Valley College Athletics Department to have, quote, no significant structure, vision, or plan after Wenatchee Valley College requested a review by the governing body earlier this year. The NWAC report was released in June and outlines poor relationships between athletic staff and administration, underfunding to the program, and negative impacts to the student experience. The report came at the request of Vice President of Student Services Diana Garza and the college to compare its program to others in the conference. Since the report's release, former Wenatchee Valley College Program Director Levi Vega and head baseball coach Aaron Vaughn have been placed in interim roles as a search for new athletics director begins. According to the college, Vega and Vaughn have updated the student-athlete handbook, trained new coaches and athletics staff, and plan to launch a community fundraiser in coming weeks. A semi-truck hauling apples overturned yesterday on Highway 17 in northern Douglas County. Driver Sandhu Nikhil of Fresno, California, was southbound just west of the Leahy Junction around noon when he fell asleep at the wheel, according to the Washington State Patrol. When the 2026 Freightliner semi drifted off the right shoulder, the 26-year-old driver overcorrected and rolled the trailer. Nikhil was not injured, but the highway was closed at milepost 122 for about 3 hours, with traffic diverted onto local county roads. A Brewster man faces a possible 6-month jail sentence after his guilty plea in a gunfire incident that happened last year outside Bridgeport. 23-year-old Isaac Garcia Ramirez is one of 3 brothers arrested after shots were fired from a passing vehicle at a residence near Richards Avenue and Highway 173. No one was injured. Garcia was charged with first-degree assault and related weapons offenses, but entered a plea Monday in Douglas County Court to lesser counts of attempted second-degree assault and unlawful firearm possession. His 2 brothers received minimal sentences, but a 4th man, 28-year-old Rosendo Saucedo, is now serving 4.5 years. Prosecutors agreed to recommend that Garcia face no more than 6 months in incarceration plus a year on probation. He's due to be sentenced on October 6th. When we come back, the growth continues at Chelan Douglas Volunteer Attorney Services with the hiring of its first deputy director, and the electric car advocacy group Plug-in North Central Washington is encouraging the Wenatchee Valley to help break a local record for the longest line of electric vehicles. I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
There's no place like home. Because home is where we're totally comfortable. It's where we can be ourselves and let our guards down. It's where we make memories. And we're always imagining new ways to keep it totally comfortable. Carrier. Total comfort, totally happy.
Call Alpine Air Heating and Cooling today. Your comfort is their priority.
Central Washington Water understands the power of healing waters. If part of your wellness routine includes hot heat from a sauna, Central Washington Water now carries indoor and outdoor infrared and hot rock saunas by Tilo. Research shows there are many health benefits to a cold plunge after a good workout or relaxing time in your sauna. Harness the power of water in a hot spring spa, plug-and-play spas, a Tilo sauna, or a cold plunge tub. Stop by Central Washington Water, your wellness experts.
Managers on the Lower Sugarloaf Fire changed evacuation levels yesterday, placing new areas under Level 2 notices. Northwest Incident Team 3 said today that's because the fire, now approaching 19,000 acres in size, showed northwesterly movement on Tuesday in the direction of the town of Plain. It's been burning since Labor Day on the mountain ridges between the Chumstick and Eniat valleys. The team considers the fire to be 11% contained, with the strongest fire lines on its west flank.
Yesterday evening, the fire did cross over a drainage in there and aligned with a little bit of slope that caused some activity, but not significant growth overnight. That did result in some raising of evacuation levels for folks over to the west of the fire. Continuing down through Division Mike into Division Oscar down the 52 road towards Sugarloaf Peak. Going really well for those folks. They did install a dozer line down into Indian Creek yesterday, and today they'll be in evaluating the road systems off of Medicine Ridge to see if that can be our primary line. For today, the efforts continue on improving the line on Gold Ridge, but as I mentioned earlier, they are going to assess the fire's edge here and see if we can't come a little bit closer and tighter in there and pick the fire up there and then bring it back to Gold Ridge. Coming around into Division Quebec, yesterday folks continued to mop up, patrol, and secure down towards Moe Canyon and did a little bit of firing operations along the 5810 to bring fire to our lines. Those will be mopped up, patrolled, and secured today. Continuing in Quebec, the lines down Roaring Ridge were improved yesterday, and we put in new lines going down into Roaring Creek and the 5101 road. These lines will be completed preparation today in conjunction with Division Sierra that worked off of Dinkelman Ridge and put a new line in to the 5101 road. Today there'll be efforts to bring some fire along these lines so that we have a buffer for the community of Ferris and the values in the Eniat River drainage. That operation should occur today in conjunction with both divisions to secure that and protect those values in the Eniat River Valley.
The growth continues at Chelan Douglas Volunteer Attorney Services. We told you last month how the nonprofit Legal Aid Foundation has moved into new offices and expanded its services. Now, Executive Director Eloise Barshis says the agency has its first deputy director. Maria Sanchez joins the team after previous work with the Wenatchee Valley College Foundation and in the banking sector. Chelan Douglas Volunteer Attorney Services was found in 2022 to help clients with civil court cases who might otherwise not be able to afford an attorney. The electric car advocacy group Plug In North Central Washington is encouraging the Wenatchee Valley to help break a local record for the longest line of electric vehicles. The association's third annual EV lineup will take place Sunday, October 5th in the west parking lot of Pybus Public Market. Electric vehicle owners will park in a row to try to beat the previous community record of 28 EVs in one line. It's part of the Drive Electric Month celebration running through mid-October. The event starts at 7:30 a.m. with the official lineup beginning at 9:15 a.m. that morning. Coming up next, the first piece of a project 10 years in the making has finally arrived inside Memorial Park. We'll take you there in tonight's feature story. Expect a mix of haze, sunshine, and warm temperatures through the end of the week. I'll have your local weather details coming up, and Eric Cranstrom will take a look at all the day's sports as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after the break.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support.
School's back, but this is the kind of math we like. Over 100 slices of pepperoni, one giant Abby's pizza feeds up to 6 hungry people. That's A+ value, toppings to the edge. That's been the Abby's way since forever. Now go do your homework. When someone says, bring home the bacon, we know what they mean. They want Abby's legendary Bacon Cheddar Pizza, loaded with country bacon and packed with Canadian bacon. On sale now at abbys.com. This month, bring home the bacon at family-owned Abby's.
The first piece of a project 10 years in the making has finally arrived inside Memorial Park. A statue of Chief John Harmelt, the last chief of the Wenatchee tribe, now sits at the center of Pasquosa Plaza. According to the City of Wenatchee's Parks and Cultural Services Director David Erickson, the Plaza project began in 2015 and is meant to honor the first people of Wenatchee. The statue arrived last night and was installed this morning by its artist, Judd Turner, who drove it up from Eugene, Oregon. In tonight's features story, NCWLIFE News spoke with both Erickson and Turner to learn more about the plaza and the details of the statue project.
The project really sat on its shelf for a number of years till funding came available. And in 2021, City Council approved a budget to move ahead with the project. And then working with the Colville tribes and Wenatchee tribes, we developed a plan for the project, which you can kind of see behind it. So it's a plaza shaped in a basket form. And within that basket, we've got Chief John Harmelt on the horseback, kind of representing the old tribe, the history of the tribe that's here. We'll have another sculpture coming that's going to represent the future of the tribe. That's going to be a bronze sculpture that's made by Kevin Patel. And then around in the raised planter beds are going to be interpretive signs, and Swede Albert, a Wenatchee tribal artist, is working on those, and those will be installed next week. And we wanted a sculpture for the center of the Chief John Harmelt sculpture that was more rustic feel. So found art or found metal items, and Smoker Marchand was one of the artists. He was a Wenatchee tribal. Remember, we reached out to him. He was really excited about the project, but unfortunately he passed away. And then I found Judd Turner and had several conversations with him, and it seemed like his style and would work well for this project, and so then he was ultimately selected.
The honor of being asked to do a sculpture to symbolize another culture's historical figure, that's a huge honor. It's the biggest honor of my career. And to get to learn more about Chief Harmelt and the tribe in the area, and what a peaceful leader he was, all of those things really encouraged me to want to do this project. And I love doing public art. Public art is accessible to everyone, and so that's a real strong value for me as a public artist. Before I started the design process, we made a trip up here to meet the people involved, see the park. I went to the museums and met with one of the museum curators to get photos. There's not a lot of photos of him to work from reference as a reference. So photos, and then learned as much as I could about his history and the history of the tribe and this part of Washington. I also gathered some of the materials used in the sculpture from donations that we collected when we were here 2 years ago. So I put out word through the city and the newspaper that I would be here with a truck and a trailer, and if people wanted to donate parts, like, grandpa's old tractor parts or old tools, that those would be perfect materials to use in the sculpture. And that's a real way to tie the community to the public art that is here now. The coolest donation we got was that a family came and said that their family had bought the land where the chief lived until he died in 1937, and that they had the horseshoes from the chief's horse. So the horse's name was Quilmayakin, and his actual horseshoes are framing both eyes on the horse. So those are the most meaningful object in the entire sculpture that literally ties past to present. It is about 9 feet tall at the feather and about 8 feet long, maybe 9 feet, and about 3 feet wide. It's just slightly larger than life. For historical monuments, the tradition is to make them a little larger than life, and so it's slightly larger than a horse would be and slightly larger than he probably was in real life. The other detail on there of note is I got a vintage Washington State license plate from 1937, and that's the year that the chief died, and that's attached to the horse to commemorate his passing and also to symbolize the replacement of horses with cars. The tribal council had input throughout the process, and at the beginning their specific request was to include animals from their legends, and so there's a coyote and a bear and a sparrowhawk, a salmon, and an owl. And those 5 animals are distributed around the horse's body, and they're smaller found object representations of those animals. So those are the kind of details that reward curiosity and closer inspection of art made this way. We put it on the back of a tilt trailer. It had been on a wheeled rack up until this morning. We cut it off the wheeled rack when we mounted it to the plaza here. So just using a winch to pull it onto a trailer and then chaining it down very securely, and then driving from Eugene up I-5 and then over to Wenatchee. So it was a very fun thing to drive down the highway with that on the back of a trailer. We got all kinds of thumbs up and waves and people taking pictures with it and slowing down. People seemed really excited about it.
Time now to take a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope you had a fantastic Wednesday. Boy, beautiful late summer weather we're experiencing right now in North Central Washington. Still some haze out there, and boy, you could smell it in the Wenatchee area today. Great shot right here of that Lower Sugarloaf Fire, and you can see the smoke bank kind of moving to the north from that fire. This is Entiat below. Air quality good in the Entiat area at 44. On the other side of the coin, with the northwest drift in Wenatchee, we are in the 70s, moderate as far as our air quality goes. And you can see that little bit of haze along the Cascades as we look down at the Wenatchee Valley. So a little difference and not very many miles from that Lower Sugarloaf Fire. What we're all seeing consistently, though, is warm temperatures for this time of year. We are going to be into the 80s once again on Thursday and again on Friday. Saturday, low to mid 80s. I think we're even going to be a little bit warmer than that. And then Sunday, we'll see a bit of a weather change with some windy conditions and some rain showers, with our temperatures falling back into the 70s. But boy, these next 3 days are going to be beauties. A lot like today. It got warm out there today, unofficially 86 degrees. That's 9 degrees above where we should be for this time of year. 77 is normal. 93, our record high temperature set back in 1981. We were at 57 this morning, slightly above our normal low of 52, and our record low 39 degrees set in 1965. Sunrise this morning 6:41, and it sets tonight at 7:08. All right, taking a look at Thursday temperatures. This beautiful warm weather will continue into the end of the week. Mid 80s, 85 for Moses Lake and Ephrata. Quincy also at 85, 84 for Wenatchee. That goes for Entiat and Chelan as well. 83s tomorrow in both Leavenworth and for Cashmere. So boy, just beautiful mid to late September weather. Tonight, widespread haze will continue because of that northwesterly flow of air that we're going to continue to see in the Wenatchee area. High pressure down in the desert southwest, that's dragging all that warm air up our way. For Thursday, that trend will continue. All kinds of sunshine tomorrow and warm, as we mentioned, with highs generally in our our area in the mid-80s. As we get you into Friday, it is going to be another nice one, probably our warmest day of the year, or I should say of the forecast. Sunny and warmer with high temperatures probably creeping in the mid and even upper 80s on Friday. And boy, that goes for all of central and eastern Washington. Just beautiful to end the week. Pretty nice start to our weekend too, although we do see some changes. There's our ridge of high pressure. We'll see mid 80s, but this area of low pressure will drag a cold front across the state, and that will happen as we get you into the end of the weekend on Sunday. And look at the wind it will bring with that on Sunday afternoon. Mostly cloudy skies, about a 50-50 chance that we'll see some rain showers, a good chance for Spokane and west of the Cascades. We'll cool down a little bit with highs in the upper 70s on Sunday. And then our first day of fall on Monday. Can you believe it? And it is going to feel once again like summer. Sunny and nice. High temperatures on Monday, upper 70s to near 80 degrees. And by the end of our forecast on Tuesday, our beautiful early fall weather will continue. Mostly sunny and warm with high temperatures right around 80 degrees. Now taking a look at your 7-day forecast, 59 overnight tonight, and just a beautiful trio of days Thursday through Saturday, mid to upper 80s with lows right around 60 degrees. And then some weather changes as we get you into Sunday, mostly cloudy and windy, a 50% chance of rain and 79. And then back to the very nice weather once again for Monday and Tuesday with sunshine and high temperatures right around 80. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, tonight's sports report with Eric Granstrom and more as the NCWLIFE Evening News continues right after this.
All right, happy Wednesday to you. I just realized in reading my script that I got a lot of numbers that I'm going to throw at you. The Mariners have now won 10 in a row after blowing the doors off to Kansas City last night, 12-5. It was a game that featured 2 home runs by Cal Raleigh to pass Mickey Mantle and tie Ken Griffey Jr. for the most home runs in a season by a Mariner. Incredibly, overshadowing the big dumper was Dominic Canzone. He went 5 for 5 with 3 home runs.
Infield about medium way and almost picks off Cal. He sidesteps it. Now Rosarena scores. Cal Raleigh is making his way home. 3 batters into the ball game. What a statement to open up this road trip. High blast. This is well on its way and gone. Well, that was a true rainmaker here in Kansas City. Canzone leads off the second with a bang, and it's 3-0 Mariner. The 1-1. Fly ball, right field, foul pole. It is fair and gone. Number 55, Cal Raleigh. Move over, Mick. Cal Raleigh is the new switch hitting home run king. Blasted, center field, and oh, it disappears! He has homered on back-to-back pitches seen tonight. It may never stop the year of Cal Raleigh. He has now tied Ken Griffey Jr. for the most home runs by a Mariner in a season. Canzone, right center field, and he has homered into the fountains. Fly ball, deep right field, and Dom Canzone, a 3-homer game. The 12th Mariner in franchise history with a hat trick. An exclamation off the very end of the bat, and that is the ball game. What a statement start for the Mariners today with a little bit of history sprinkled in.
Seattle and Kansas City are meeting again right now. That game is on Root Sports Northwest. Mariners remain a half game in front of Houston in the American League West. After the Astros beat Texas 6-5, the Athletics edged Boston 2-1. Milwaukee blasted the Angels by a final of 9-2. The Wenatchee Panthers had 3 different players score last night at a 3-1 win over West Valley in Big 9 girls soccer. Panthers took the lead midway through the first half and held a 2-0 lead at the break. They'd add one more in the second half for the second Big 9 win of the season. Sebastian Moraga and Matt Wisen had the call here on the NCWLIFE channel.
Houston. Down the flank. Corner of the box. Bowles. Out of the box. Who's going to tap it in? Goal, 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 goal! Wenatchee takes the lead. 20 minutes, 31 seconds in this first half. And Wenatchee puts one in the back of the net. 6 minutes, 35 seconds. Just joshing with you. Just getting the shot across. Good opportunity. No doubter! No doubter! Sofia Garcia shot across. And Logan Gross Didier. Leaving no chance for Lily Anderson. Stopped by Bowles. Bowles making a path as she goes. Good through ball. Inside the box, good opportunity, Garcia, golazo! Cameron Garcia for the Wenatchee Panthers. 5 minutes into the second half. Norton. Trying again is Farias. Eva Farias. From way outside, inside the box, right-footed touch, no doubter. Aspen Austin, number 7 for West Valley Yakima, puts the Rams on the board. And there's the whistle that tells us that this one goes into the books as a victory for the Wenatchee Panthers over the West Valley Yakima Rams by a score of 3-1.
How important was it to get a good result tonight against what Coach said has been a tough rival in the past for you guys?
Yes. This was a pretty important match for us because it was our second game of the season, and we really got to set the tone to show the other teams that we're the best here. Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I noticed is that you had very few subs during the game. Does that mean that you guys have found like your group to start with, that you know how you want to play the rest of the way?
Yes, we are a very close-knit team. We have a lot of chemistry together, and we're all very in shape, so we don't need any subs.
That was one of the things you said. Your conditioning was excellent. You guys ran the entire game. Is that something that coach has put an emphasis on?
Yes, we're a very conditioned team. We love our summer fitness.
I mean, going into the second half with a 2-0 lead, I've always been told is historically one of the most dangerous leads to have going into a second half, just because you feel comfortable enough to, sometimes let off the gas. So we really pushed that in our halftime talk. I personally felt like we started our first half pretty slow. It wasn't the kind of soccer I wanted to see for about the first 30 minutes. Last 10, we started to connect passes, 1-2 touch, press harder, just calm down. I don't know if it was first home game, big giant crowd back there cheering us on. But it felt a little bit frantic to start. I think going into the second half, though, they were a little more composed and played more, the style that we're aiming for, which is just clean, pretty soccer.
Other action last night, Moses Lake blasted Davis 6-0. Ephrata and Othello played to a 3-3 tie. Kashmir walloped Wapito 12-1. Chelan blanked Manson 7-0. Cascade beat Bridgeport 8-0. Okanagan down Liberty Bell 5-0. Brewster beat Lake Roosevelt 5-1. Pateros took down Tonasket 3-0. It was Omak over Oroville by a final of 8-2. Well, Wenatchee earned a sweep of West Valley in Big 9 volleyball last night, winning 25-7, 20, and 12. Sela swept Eastmont in the first outdoor volleyball match in WIAA history. The game was played on the sport court on Sela's football field outside. Final scores, it was quite a match, 25-19, 26-24, and 27-25. Other action, Davis edged Moses Lake 3 games to 2, or 3 sets to 2, 21-25, 25-19, 20-25, 27-25, and 15-9. How about that? Othello topped Ephrata 3 sets to 3-1. Riverview swept Quincy. Cashmere took out Wapato 3-zip, 25-15, 12, and 9. Chelan swept Omak in 3 sets. Cascade beat Bridgeport 3-zip. Tonasket topped Republic 3-1. Liberty Bell beat Lake Roosevelt 3-zip. Soap Lake cruised by Cascade Christian 3-0. And Waterville Mansfield topped Garden City Academy 3-0. That's Look at Sports News. I'm Eric Grandstrom. Have a happy Wednesday.
And that will do it for this Wednesday edition of the NCWLIFE Evening News. Remember, you can find us at NCWLIFE.com, on our social media channels, or on our mobile app. Our channel is available also on Roku, Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download the NCWLIFE app to your devices and share the news with friends and family. You can email us with news tips anytime at news@ncwlife.com or give us a call at 888-6295. I'm Grant Olson. Thanks so much for being with us and have a great night.